This show is not personal financial advice. We cover broad principles, break the silence on issues impacting everyday Americans, and point you towards the tools to take ownership. You should always do your own research and consult with a tax professional or a licensed investment advisor for guidance tailored to your personal situation. Welcome to the Backwoods Money podcast. I'm your host Dalton, and today's episode is a little heavier than normal, but it's one that I felt that we need to have. We are not a political show, and we don't intend to become one, but we are a show about stewardship, responsibility, and real-world consequences, and right now the headlines are demanding that we speak. In the past few weeks, there are two headlines that we want to speak about. We have lost Irina Zarutska and Charlie Kirk. While both of their stories are different, the headline is still the same: senseless violence. Senseless violence is not new. America has had a long and painful history of people being silenced for their beliefs. Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and so many more. These people were not fringe extremists. These were leaders who were challenging the status quo with their beliefs and ideas, and in return, they were met with evil and senseless violence. We're not just seeing it with political figures. We see violent acts against schools, violent home invasions, armed robberies, random violent attacks, people being hurt and killed just for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. This is not a left versus a right issue. This is an issue of good versus evil. And if we're being honest, it's not just out there, it is creeping into our culture every day. It's made its way into our feeds, and we have people talking about this evil like it is entertainment. We've normalized cruelty and have made violence a headline rather than a wake-up call. In the past week, as if the headlines were not already disturbing enough, there is also a disturbing trend of people that are cheering Charlie Kirk's murder on social media. There are vile posts all over Facebook, Instagram, X, Reddit, and most other platforms. Now, you don't have to agree with somebody's political beliefs. You don't have to agree with the tone at which they share those beliefs. But if your instinct is to celebrate their murder, that is not activism, that is evil. And the cheering is not just internet noise. People are seeing the real-world repercussions of their actions. I've seen people lose their jobs over this, and I'm not talking about just low-wage positions. I'm talking about college professors, coaches, healthcare professionals, people that are in licensed and well-paid roles. Some didn't even say anything graphic themselves. They just shared an inappropriate meme, or dropped a laughing emoji, or made a snide comment, and now their actions have costed them their career. Now, take it with a grain of salt because I've not seen any statistics to back this up yet, but I did see a post that claimed that hundreds of people have been terminated over this. I don't know if that is an exaggerated number or not, but I have personally seen a double handful of confirmed cases. Here's the kicker: some don't even publicly list where they worked, but their employers still found out because the internet is never truly private. And it's important to note that this is not censorship, this is consequence. If you publicly cheer for someone's death, don't be surprised when your employer, your community, your family, or your friends say, "That is not who we are." And remember, it is not just jobs that are being lost, it is relationships, it's trust, it is reputation. I have seen lifelong friends lost over a single political post, family members who won't speak to each other, and communities that quietly distance themselves. And I've seen that over simple political posts, so you can only imagine the impact that a post that isn't just about a political view, but rather celebrating an evil act, what that would cause. You may think that what you're sharing is just a joke, a meme, or a moment of venting, But once it's out there, it is a reflection of who you are and how others around you are going to view you. And some people won't just look past it. They won't ask you to clarify what you meant by your post, but they will remember how it made them feel. That one post, that one meme, that one comment, that one moment of mockery, that is going to stick in that person's head of what they think about you from then on. You cannot build a legacy built on sarcasm or build trust based on cruelty. If your words tear people down, don't expect for them to help you build anything up. People will ask, if that is what they said about that person, what if it was me? If you're trying to build a life that means something, something that lasts, you have to ask yourself, what are my words costing me? Not just online or professionally, but in those quiet places like your friendships, your family, and your future. And ladies and gentlemen, this kind of recklessness does not just come out of nowhere. It is all being shaped by the digital world that we live in. The internet is not a neutral place. Platforms like Reddit, Discord, and others reward sarcasm, mockery, and emotional detachment. The more outrageous or cruel that a comment is, the more attention that it gets. And our kids are absorbing these values from anonymous strangers rather than the values of their family or their community. The rise of desensitization and emotional cruelty is causing many young people to grow up thinking that disrespect is just part of the game. Mike Tyson said it best when he said, social media has made y'all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Oftentimes, when people are posting online, they have some misguided belief that their online self is different from their real life and that their online words or actions won't carry any real world weight or consequences. You'll often hear me talking on this show about stewardship, and usually that is about financial stewardship, but this is a stewardship issue as well. We have to ask ourselves, what kind of values are we passing down? What kind of culture are we building in our homes, our social media feeds, and our communities? Going back to people losing their careers over their words and their actions, there is something that I think a lot of people in our country misunderstand. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. The First Amendment protects you from government punishment. It does not protect you from losing your job, your reputation, or your relationships. So while your words are free, remember that they are also a mirror. Employers, family, and your community are all watching, and each of them have every right to say that is not who we are or what we believe in, and to terminate that relationship. Even if you don't publicly list where you work at, your profile doesn't list where you're from, or doesn't even have your legal name on it, your words still reflect those people around you and your character. And even if you put some line on your profile like, my views don't express those of my employer, that does not mean that you are free from the repercussions because their employees are still a reflection of them and what they will tolerate. And let's be honest, no employer wants to risk losing business because someone on their team is out there cheering for somebody's death. So, if you're going to speak freely, remember to speak wisely, because freedom does not mean immunity. Let me be clear again that this was a tragic day in America. Regardless of political beliefs, another person was silenced not for violence or inciting chaos, but for verbal disagreement. Our country is based on disagreements and the ability to argue and settle those internal disagreements like responsible adults. So, for anybody who felt even a flicker of joy over that, I have no polite words for you. And I believe that you are part of the problem in this world, part of that evil that we should all be standing up against. And not everybody out here is posting memes or cheering about it. Some folks are just staying quiet, and I get that. But your silence does not always mean neutrality, and neutrality doesn't always mean integrity. You don't have to post a tribute or argue with strangers, but if you feel like something is wrong, don't pretend that it is right. Don't laugh along with it, don't share the joke, and don't nod just to fit in, because all of those things still speak to your character. It is a character move to not dehumanize this and to not mock a violent attack on the ability to have a mature and open disagreement on issues. Remember that this could have went either way. Even if the person forcibly silenced was not on your political side, they just as easily could have been, and in the past, they have been. We're not just managing money here, we are managing influence, legacy, and stewardship. If we want a world where disagreement doesn't mean destruction, then we have to start by being the kind of people who can stand firm, even when it is uncomfortable. This episode was not easy, but again, I felt like it was something that was necessary. We are not here to stir the pot, but we are here to call for clarity, stand for decency, and to challenge cruelty wherever it shows up. If you're still here, thank you for listening in. Thank you for being the kind of person who doesn't just scroll past violence and mockery like it is acceptable. We have a long way to go, but it starts with us, with how we speak, with how we respond, and how we steward our influence, both online and offline. So let's be the kind of people who can disagree without destroying, the kind of people who can stand firm without cheering for blood, the kind of people who can build something that lasts because it is built on truth and not evil or cruelty. Until next time, stay grounded, stay clear, and stay human.